The new track just came in from the Hurricane Center on Hurricane Dorian, moving now away from Puerto Rico, although they're still getting heavy rain and gusty winds all the way through the Virgin Islands, about 1,100 miles away from South Florida. And that forecast track taking it away just to the north of Puerto Rico. Here's the very latest, and moving it to northwest. Right now moving northwest at 14, the winds at 80 miles an hour, so it continues to intensify as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. 90-mile-an-hour winds. Thursday afternoon, we're up to a Category 2 with winds at 105 miles an hour. That is Friday afternoon, and making that turn toward the west-northwest and closer to the northern Bahamas at this point. Saturday, 2 p.m., Category 3 hurricane. That's a little faster in the intensity. And 3 as we go through in the northern Bahamas, just to the north of Grand Bahama and Abaco, 115 miles an hour. That is Sunday, 2 p.m., and then making a landfall. The track is very close to where it was at 11 a.m. There's 100-mile-an-hour winds. That's well inland, and that is Monday at 2 p.m. So that landfall would be later Sunday into Sunday night and early Monday on this track. All of pretty much all of the peninsula in the error cone here. You can see all the way down through the Florida Keys. So we could certainly get a track a little farther south here, or a little farther north. We've kind of been back and forth with these tracks the last couple of days. Yesterday, the trend was for the tracks to shift north. Now we have the tracks today shifting a little farther south, and the intensity really starting to fire up with Category 2s and 3s popping, where yesterday we just saw a tropical storm the entire way. But obviously, looking at the latest guidance and what's happening right now with this storm, and I'll go back a frame, there's the radar out of Puerto Rico. You can see an eye beginning to develop. It's having a little bit of difficulty. It's not completely protected on the western side of this, but it does have some good outflow in almost all quadrants. You also notice there's a lot of interaction here with Puerto Rico. There's not a lot going on the western side of this, but once it pulls away from the island, we'll start to see this begin to improve too. But now we have a point source where we can track this. It's been just a sloppy weather maker the last 2 to 3 days. It's a move from Barbados up into St. Lucia. Come on in, Shannon. You know, you have a lot of questions.
No, we have some breaking news I wanted to pass along to you. They want you to know today, Governor Ron DeSantis has just issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency for counties in the path of Hurricane Dorian. We'll feed you more information on what this means, but the counties affected. Okay,
and of course, all of the peninsula, Florida, in this error code now, heading into, well, it would be Sunday and Monday. There's another look at the forecast track. So this just came out from the Hurricane Center in the last couple of minutes. Category 1 right now, but stronger than it was earlier. Now winds at 80 miles an hour and moving northwest at 14. And that motion will continue, that northwest track, through Thursday and possibly even part of Friday. There's Thursday, 2 p.m. As we get into Friday, there's that turn beginning as it turns back toward the northwest and in toward the northern Bahamas. We have Eleuthera, we have Abacos, and there's Grand Bahama there, Freeport, and of course Nassau and Paradise Island back to the south. So it tracks, at least the center line track, is just to the north of those islands. Category 3 major hurricane, 115-mile-an-hour winds. That's Sunday afternoon. We're now in the error cone, and that just continues to spread across the entire state into Monday. Monday, 2 p.m., 100-mile-an-hour winds. So we're back down to a 2, but a significant hurricane possible making landfall. Now the tracks during the afternoon, a lot of them have been shifting south. The Euromodel will bring it into Palm Beach County on Sunday during around noon hour, and some of the other models, significant, very reliable models, also shifting south during the afternoon. Now that trend may be short-lived. That's why we have the error cone. Yesterday we saw the models trend north, today south, and the error cone tells us that we could still see a track farther south, even Miami, and all the way up in toward Jacksonville and in toward Georgia. These are unlikely areas. Typically, hurricanes will turn toward the north and stay away from the coastline in this area, North Florida, but obviously here in our area, all the way from the Treasure Coast down in toward Miami, it's a more likely area to see a landfalling storm. There are the computer model tracks coming out during the afternoon, and just looking at these, if you've been watching this the last few days, you know that they've shifted south again. And a lot of the tracks are right into our viewing area from Vero down in even toward West Palm. That's the official forecast track right there in red, and the Euro embedded in Palm Beach County. So that's of course discouraging to see these tracks shift south again. The reason they're shifting south is that the high is building back in. We're going to talk more about that. And as far as our probability of seeing tropical storm force winds, now, the timing for the arrival of the strong winds is a little bit later now. That's one of the changes that we've seen during the day. So Sunday, there's Sunday morning 7:30, about a 20 to 30% chance of seeing 39-mile-an-hour winds or stronger. As we get into Sunday night and Monday, even stronger winds. And look at that. Those are strong winds into Sunday and Monday for South Florida.